Hi everyone, my name is Angel Sky and I'm recording this video because I have 3 separate tasks. The first task entails me saying the corresponding sounds to the letters of the alphabet. The next task includes me decoding multisyllabic words, and the final task is me saying or describing what print awareness is. I will start by saying the phonemes for the letters of the alphabet. Okay, and go up. A, B, K, D, E, F, G, I, J, 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 K, L, M, N, A, P, W, Q, Q, S, T, V, W, X, X, Y, Z. Okay, that completes the first test. Next, I will move along to me decoding multisyllabic words. I'm going to place the phone right here so you all can see. The first word that I have is the word watermelon. So to decode multisyllabic words, we must first identify the syllables. So in the word watermelon, there are 4 syllables, and I'm going to show you how I know there are 4 syllables. So we're going to clap out the syllables. Watermelon. Okay, we hear 4. Let's try it one more time. I hear 4. Let's try it one more time. Watermelon. There are 4 syllables in the word watermelon. Next, we're going to identify the vowels in the word because there's a vowel in each syllable. I've already done that before. So we have an A in the word watermelon. We have an E in the word watermelon. And we have another E and an A. So 2 A's and 2 A's, an ER, an E, and an O. I'm sorry, I just messed that totally up. So let me say that one more time because I'm trying to read backwards. So we have an A, we have an ER vowel, we have an E, and we have an O. Watermelon. So in the word watermelon, we see that there's a wa. So we know that vowel is there. We also see the second syllable is and we have that ER. So that ER tells us that is an bossy R, quote unquote, or an R control, because you can't hear the sound of the E. You know it's there, but you hear the R. The R is loud and it's protruding. So then we have the word mel, So we know that this one, or the rules to this is a closed syllable, and I will tell you why. Because the rules to know if something is closed, is to see if it's surrounded by 2 consonants, in which E is, and if it has a short E vowel. So we don't hear E, we hear and that entails that that's the short E vowel, and it's surrounded by 2 consonants. And next we have on. We also hear the short O vowel, and because we hear that short O vowel and it's surrounded by a consonant, then we also know that indeed is a closed vowel. Yes. And that is a closed because it makes a short A sound as well. The next word we have is elephant. So because we have the word, because we already know how to decode a word, let's start. So we're gonna clap out the syllables in elephant. Let's start now. Elephant. elephant. Okay, so we know that there's three syllables. And because we know there's 3 syllables, and we know there are at least 3 vowels because there is a vowel in every syllable. So in the first one we have L, 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 L. We hear this L sound, but we also hear this L sound floating to the next syllable. But because this E is surrounded by this consonant, we know that's closed. And we hear L, but it sounds like and that's that unstressed vowel. And because we hear that unstressed vowel, we know that that's the schwa. L, we know that's the schwa. And we hear the word fant. And remember the rule, it's a closed vowel if it's surrounded by multiple consonants and it has a short vowel sound, in which this does. The next word, which was my favorite, microwave. I think it may have been one of my favorites. No, microwave was my favorite. This was my second favorite. Basketball is this word that we have. So since we know the process, let's go ahead and start. We have the word basketball. So let's clap it out because I can hear 3 syllables, but let's clap it out to prove it. Basketball. We hear 3 syllables. And let's see how many vowels do we have. We have 1, 2, 3 vowels. 3 syllables, 3 vowels. And let's see, do we hear those long vowel sound or we hear those short vowel sound? We hear short. And because we hear those short vowel sounds, we automatically know that this right here, well, these are all closed because bass, closed, surrounded by 2 consonants, short vowel sound. The same with ket, closed, the vowel is surrounded by 2 consonants, short vowel sound, and ball, closed. The vowel is also indeed surrounded by 2 consonants or 2 or more actually consonants, and it has that short vowel sound. The next word we hear is umbrella. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. So we know, let's clap it out to see, let's see what do we know. Because me hearing it, umbrella, I hear 3 syllables. But let's clap it out to prove it. Umbrella. There are indeed 3 syllables. And these are, let's identify how many vowels we have. We have 1, 2, 3. Because remember, there's always a vowel per syllable. So because we hear the short U sound, we hear the and it's not saying you, it's not saying its name, we know that's closed. And we also hear brill, L. That L is always that L is always trying to take over to, or slide or float to the next syllable. That's what I'm trying to say. But we hear the E, but it's making a short vowel sound and it's surrounded by consonants, so we automatically know that this is indeed a close. And we hear that la, and even though it's not surrounded by, it does have a consonant in front of it, and it doesn't have one in the back, it's still closed because it doesn't say its name. So it's not saying a, it's saying umbrella. We also hear that schwa sound too, that schwa sound. We know this one is a schwa. Okay, finish that part. So the next word is Terminator. Okay, so let's first clap it out to see how many syllables there are. Terminator. There are 4 syllables in the word Terminator. So let's see where the vowels are or how many there are, because we know there are going to be at least 4 vowels because we know there are going to be at least 4 vowels because there are 4 syllables. So we have the ER vowel, we have the I vowel, the A vowel, and the OR vowel. So because we have that ER vowel and you hear you hear the R sound, then you know that that's an R control. We have that I sound, I. That's the short vowel sound. So that has to be closed. And then we have A. The A is explicitly saying its name, like A, it's calling out at you. So we know that's an open vowel. And we hear the or. Remember, we hear the R. The R is really bossy. So we know that the R is R control. And our final one, this is my favorite word, this one here. So we have microwave. Let's clap it out to identify the amount of syllables. Microwave. There are 3 syllables, so we know there has to be at least 3 vowels. So as we can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. The vowels are I, O, A, and E. Okay, yeah. So because we know that, okay, that's what I'm about to say is, or what I'm trying to say is, let's see how these vowels are sounding. So we hear the word my, I, and the vowel is saying its name. So because that vowel is saying its name, we know that that is an open vowel sound or open sound. And we hear the crow, O. And because we hear that O sound, the O is saying its name, we know that's open. And we hear wave, ave. But we see that E on the end and that A has its sound. Because we can identify this, we know this is we know that this is a silent E or a magic E, or it's really called vowel consonant E, because the E is giving the A its sound and the E is staying quiet. Nice E. So yes, now that completes us decoding the multisyllabic words. Now we're going to talk about print awareness. So print awareness is basically it is the earliest form of literacy. So once a child is aware that words exist, like these words, that words exist, that's already helping building literacy skills, because instead of seeing words, they could see scribbly lines, but they know that these are words and that they have meaning. So print awareness tells us the forms, the functions, and the purposes of print. So print is used to convey meaning, and it's used to and it corresponds speech to written words, which is very important. And it also tells us about the functions of a book. For example, we have this notebook. This is a composition book. So this print awareness tells us that this, or being aware of print, tell us that this is the front cover, this is the spine, this is the back cover. So print awareness helps children who are trying to become proficient or are aiming to become proficient in reading. It tells us about the different parts of a book. Print awareness also tells us how to identify an author. Where is the author usually written or found on the book? Also, it tells us about how do we handle a book. It tells us that all books have pages. It also tells us that some books have illustrators. It tells us that how do we read? And we know that when we open something, we read from left to right rather than right to left. And it tells us when we turn that next page, we're going to continue reading the same way. So pretty much print awareness is very essential because it helps us convey oral language to written language, and it also gives us cues, and these are called print referencing. So when a child is trying to build literacy skills or learning to read, and will eventually become a proficient reader at some point in time in their life, and print referencing helps a child get interactive and engaged with the text. So there are two type of print referencing strategies. There are verbal and nonverbal. So verbal includes asking questions. What does this say? Or if the book reads, the dog is barking, print referencing will asking questions will say, what did the dog do? So you see it in print, and then you're asking questions about what we just read to build literacy skills, further literacy skills. And nonverbal includes pointing. So if I'm reading, I'm pointing. So this helps a child sees that I'm saying tur, 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 It shows where the sound is coming from. So yes, all in all, print awareness is the first signs of literacy, and it pretty much shows a child or a student how to control a book, how to handle a book, how to identify different parts of a book. It talks about the author, the pages, how am I reading a book, how to figure out clues to help me better become a reader, a more proficient reader. And it also entails that print awareness entails that it conveys meaning, that words convey meaning. And yes, thank you guys. I'll see you later.